This one here, like I said, has 2200 running watts off of a 1 gallon fuel. They do make a conversion cap for this. Some aftermarket people made a conversion cap where you can hook up an additional gas fuel supply system just off of this unit, so you can extend this from 1 gallon to as many gallons as you want. But this one here off of a 50% load will give you about 8 to 10 hour run time. You add in the conversion cap here and you could get practically run it day and night with no trouble at all. Alright, here's a quick look at the control panel itself. You've got the on-off switch here. You switch it to choke to get the unit running, then you switch it over to run and the unit starts running. You also have the efficiency mode button here for when you're drawing real small loads. You can hit that button and it'll idle a lot slower, because I think with the switch off the unit runs at about 3800 RPM. You turn that switch on and it drops it down to a very low idle switch. You got your very important grounding wire here, or hookup harness here, because this is a GFCI outlet, so this unit's going to be needed to be properly grounded. And then it's got 3 indicator lights here for low oil and whatnot. And let's see, it's got a reset button here. And then here's your USB ports here, and then you've got the 5 volt USB port outlet there. So you got 2 of those ports. Here's the GFC outlet. It's 20 amp for that single outlet there. Okay, I've got the front cover off, and like I said, there's only 2 Phillips head screws in here that's holding the plate on, and then of course it's got some friction points here where it's attached. But this was the drain hose for the carburetor that I was telling you about just a second ago. And here's the screw that purges this pan here. In the event you've got a full tank of gas and you're going to just putting it back in storage, you can drain your carburetor out through there. There's your oil port for changing oil and adding oil. You got your air filter here, and then you got your muffler system and all that up and through here. Everything is nice and compact. And I removed the cover plate for the top to change the spark plug through here. Also, too, this port is easy. It makes it easier to put your hand in through the top here to push this plate out when you remove these 2 screws. Other than that, it's about as much as the interior you're going to be able to get at without disassembling the entire carcass of this machine. It's well padded and insulated on the door panel, so this thing's going to generate probably about 52 decibels at close range, and as you go further away that's going to drop down to about 45 or so. So it's a pretty quiet unit all in all. Okay, here's a final look around the unit before I start this thing up and get it running. There's the pull handle for the unit with the various warning stickers telling you where to place the unit when it's running. Went ahead and filled it up with oil. Interesting to note though, however, out of most all the generators I've ever bought in my life, there's usually an indicator tag here telling you to fill this unit with oil and what kind of weight oil this unit uses, and that was noticeably absent off this unit. In addition to that, this fill plug here was almost completely open, which a lot of the oil in through here had spilled out during shipping. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. This is supposed to be a brand spanking new unit, so we'll see what the shakedown on that is. Also too, I noticed someone had put some lube on these friction points here, which was missing off of the other unit that I had. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. But, and then last but not least, there's the spark plug port up through there. So this is now finally ready for testing, and keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully somebody didn't sneak this one in as a return and it was sold as new. We'll see how that goes. Back in a minute. Okay, I got the unit up and running, and it took about 12 to 14 pulls to get the thing started. And for the first 5 or 10 minutes it's been sputtering quite a lot. I'm currently running an 89 octane ethanol free gas through the system right now. I'm going to run it for another day or two, see if there's any improvement in the unit. I currently have a fan running on it, so it is drawing power, and it is up and running. I keep an eye on it. There's some telltale signs of this unit that's kind of bothering me a little bit, so I have to think about maybe returning it or seeing if it improves after it runs for a while. Okay, back in the shop, and I've run this unit for about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, and the overall impression is the jury's still out on this one. It took about 14 pulls in order to start it. It was very rough getting it started, and once it was running, probably for the first 10-15 minutes, it was sputtering quite a lot. So my first impressions are the jury's still out. I'm going to still do some testing of it, run it for a few more days with various loads not exceeding the 50% of what this unit's capable of producing. That's what the manual recommends, so I'll go ahead and follow that. I have some suspicions on whether or not this was a cleverly returned item. There are people that own those machines that put the plastic strappings onto the box, so just because the box had the plastic strips and it was taped shut does not mean this was not a returned item. And one of the reasons I lie suspicion in that is, as I've said before, out of all machinery I've ever bought, it always has the warning tag attached to the oil port, warning you that the unit was shipped without oil or very little oil in there, and you have to add your own oil. That tag was suspiciously missing, and the fact that this was almost completely off when I opened up the case, and a lot of the remaining oil that was in the machine had spilled out all over the side of the casings and whatnot. So that's why I'm having suspicions this might have been returned. After about 20 minutes or so, the sputtering started decreasing, so run it a few more days. If I find that I'm dissatisfied with the unit completely, I'm just going to return it to the box store where I bought it. I shouldn't have any troubles returning it. That's one of the reasons when it comes to items like this, generators and stuff, you can find this unit cheaper on eBay than what I purchased it from the box store. Not a whole lot cheaper, but a little cheaper. Okay, but if I'd have bought this from eBay, then I would have had to pay the shipping cost of sending it back, and then dealing with the seller and all that nonsense, in addition to dealing with PayPal. And that can be a nightmare within itself. Okay, since I bought this from a regular retailer box store, I won't have those same issues, and I've been shopping with them long enough to where they know me. They know I'm not out to do anything nefarious. They don't hassle me with this kind of stuff. They'll just sign off on a return. So yeah, it's worth the little extra cost if I do return it. But as I said, the jury's still out. Run some more tests on it, run some more loads on it. When I'm convinced that it's been operating long enough, I'll put it at near full load capacity and see what happens, and take it from there. So that pretty much concludes this video of the Westinghouse iPro Series 2500 watt generator. Thanks for watching. See ya.